YouTube. Today I'd like to talk about unconventional EDC items or alternative EDC items. This is kind of think outside the box kind of stuff that you would carry on you. I think you'll find it interesting, so let's get into the video. Okay, this is going to be the star of the show today. This is a homemade pry bar that I made from a ratchet wrench. And I got a set of 5 of these off of Amazon for about $21. Total cost to make this was a little over $4. And it's a pretty good set of ratchet wrenches. It's made out of chrome vanadium. So before I tell you how I made this, there's probably better ways to make it, but I have limited tools here at the house, so I just used what I had. But I think it turned out really well. So I have a battery operated angle grinder. So I took this outside. There's a concrete table in my yard, so I went out there. The first thing you have to do is wrap this with something because it's going to get really hot. So I just got a piece of cardboard and wrapped it, and then I cut the end of it off. And then I put the angle grinder on the table and I turned it on. And I put the end of the wrench under the disc and to get the general shape. But since I was doing it freehand like that, it was kind of uneven, but I got the general shape on both sides, and that's how I wanted it shaped. Now, the reason why I wanted it like this is I wanted an acute angle, but I also wanted the edge to be pretty fine, not sharp, but I wanted it to be pretty fine so I could dig up under things. And so that's why I chose this particular shape. So once I got the correct shape to even out the metal on both sides, I just put a metal file on the table, and I looked on the side and I made sure I had the right angle, and then I just went back and forth until I evened it out with the file. I got some wet dry sandpaper and I did the same thing. I put the sandpaper and held it down on the table, and then I went back and forth and all around to get rid of all the sharp edges and to deburr it. And it turned out really, really good. It feels really good. Everything feels finished. It's kind of got a brushed metal look to it, and I think it turned out really well. Now, besides being a pretty good scraper, a pry bar, and a ratchet wrench, and I didn't mean to do this, but where I cut it, when it comes to the end of the wrench, it kind of flares out. Well, I didn't cut out all the flare, and so it still flares out a little bit, and there's kind of a point on both sides. And I was using that point to open up boxes the other day. That's just an extra use of this pry bar. This is a pretty useful tool. It's long enough to where I could get some leverage. Let me see how long this thing is. As you can see, it looks like it's a little under 6 inches, but that's a really useful size. I've already used this at work to dig a gasket out of one of my airlines on my truck. So pry bars are useful, and the cool factor on this thing is just off the charts. So if you try to do this, I think you'll really like it. So this pry bar cost me just a little over $4 to make, and I can still make 4 other pry bars if I wanted to, and that's a whole lot cheaper than this pry bar it's a O-knife, but this costs $40. And I think this one's just as cool as that O-knife pry bar, if not cooler. Another cool item to carry are these small little Knipex pliers, and these are really cool. They're like little bitty channel locks, and you can push this button and adjust them. And so that makes it very versatile, and this is a pretty good alternative if you use this kind of thing a lot. These are really well made. And one of my favorite EDC items is this Milwaukee Fastback. This is not really marketed for as a knife or an EDC item. This is more marketed towards somebody who does construction, cutting sheetrock, doing that kind of thing. But it's a button lock. You know, you have razor blades that you can exchange. It's made of all metal, and it's very comfortable. You know, it's contoured well, and these are made for hard use, and they really hold up. This is a very simple design, but it's very useful. You have your utility razor blade, you have a little wire stripper right here, and when you close it, you also have a cord cutter there in the back. And this is the Milwaukee Fastback, and I EDC this thing all the time. They're also very inexpensive. If you buy a pack of 3, they're less than $15 a piece. Another alternative to a pry bar is just getting a really small screwdriver. This screwdriver is 6.5 inches long. It came in a set of 6 for about $20. Made of chrome vanadium. The end of it is magnetic. And I'm not done with this. Another cool thing about this screwdriver, it's a demolition screwdriver, so you can hammer it into things, pry things up, so it's cool to have that on the end. But I do plan later on trying to put a pocket clip on there. But when I do that, I got this little plastic piece. And this came off of an electronic equipment that I bought, and it was on the prongs, the electrical prongs. So I just cut one off. It fits perfectly on the end, and I'll keep this plastic piece on the end so it doesn't tear up my pants. But this is another cool alternative to a pry bar, and it's very cheap, and this is also very cool. This is another alternative, really cool EDC item that I carry sometimes. It's a small Klein stubby screwdriver, and what's neat about this is you can carry extra bits in the handle, and it also telescopes, so you can get some more reach with this, and the bits are held in magnetically. So if you use a screwdriver a lot at work, this is a pretty neat little tool. And this is the Klein stubby screwdriver. Another useful alternative EDC item you might want to carry are these small Klein scissors that are carried by electricians. They're made very well, and they're made of high carbon steel. And so you'd be amazed at what these can cut through. They can cut through pretty thick wire. You have some wire strippers up here at the top. I seen a guy cut a penny in half with these, so they're very robust. And everybody knows that scissors are super useful to carry with you. And these little scissors can pretty much do anything a knife can do, but it can do it with more control and precision. So these are the Klein Electrician's scissors. And this is how I usually carry these scissors. I just repurposed a buck sheath, and they fit perfectly in there. I hope you enjoyed looking at all this stuff. If you did, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.